Welcome to Conversations with Masesi, where my guest and I talk everything life, family, love, community, and everything in between. The most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. Today's guest, Terry McBride, has mastered the art of communication, both in his role as a tax and financial planner and through his 40-plus years with Toastmasters. Welcome, Terry. We are looking forward to a great conversation. But I want to start this conversation with you telling me, what's a typical day look like for you?
Well, I thought about that, and I think that I start off the day by posting a photo on Instagram.
Yes!
It's a picture that I've taken in the last few days that illustrates some scenery in Saskatoon that I enjoy. Yep. Then I get up and read the newspaper, do some exercises, 10 minutes of stretching, and getting the blood circulating, because I don't drink coffee. I feel like exercise is a better way to get the engine going.
Yeah.
And then I ride my bicycle to the office. It's 5 kilometers, and then I spend the next 6 to 8 hours sitting at my desk in front of a computer, almost not moving very much. And then the bike ride home is very relaxing. Another 5 kilometers of riding back home. It's become a habit in the last year or two of my wife and I to do a crossword puzzle together.
Okay.
Which is a good way to have some fun on a common project. Mm-hmm. And then maybe I'm racing off to a Toastmasters meeting after that.
After the puzzle?
After the puzzle. And then I guess the very last thing in the day usually is doing some Irish language exercises on Duolingo.
Okay.
I shouldn't be really having screen time just before I go to sleep, but I'm desperate to keep my 10-year streak going on Duolingo, so that's usually the way I end.
10-year streak. I can't keep up 200 days streak. 10 years, that's another thing. But now you've shared so many things about you. I'm thinking, there's some things I didn't know about you. 10-year streak, I didn't know that part. But, you are always involved with Toastmasters. What keeps you involved to this day?
Well, Toastmasters is a friendly, positive organization. So the people who do come to the meetings are always upbeat and wanting to participate and share and help other people. But because I belong to 2 clubs, and I'm finding that a lot of the new members are new Canadians who who give great, interesting speeches about their experiences coming to Canada and their experiences in their home countries before they came to Canada, and also all the people that give speeches. I'd like to help them because I got a lot of help over the last 41 years, and it's just my way to pay back, I think. But I always feel that the more I give to Toastmasters, the more I get back.
Yes,
and
fulfilling.
It is fulfilling, and the people they become friends, and they have interesting stories to tell.
Yep.
So
that's so good. You're not only a financial and tax expert, a Toastmaster, you're also a husband, a father, and a grandfather. So being all that at home, what makes you happy, especially with your grandkids? I know you take pictures, so if you're not taking pictures, what are you doing with them? I'm interested in that.
Well, they're getting old enough to play games.
Okay.
It could be checkers. It could be soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be just dressing up with. We have we have a lot of old Halloween costumes in one of the rooms of our house. So the kids come trailing out wearing a new costume. So I'll just go in there and grab a hat and a wig or something like that and play with them.
And role play with them.
So it's fun to play with the 4-year-olds and the others that are a little bit older. Well, they're so curious about the world. The oldest one in particular loves to watch and identify birds, and so it's a challenge to see a bird on a tree before he sees one. He knows, he's always pointing out one. And, it's fun to be with the grandchildren.
And when you're done with all that, you're still going back to be part of the Claddaugh branch. What is Claddaugh branch CCE?
Well, Claddaugh branch is part of a worldwide Irish culture organization, or Irish music. The full name, Comhaltas Cultúrtha Éireann, means the Irish Musicians Association of the world.
Okay.
And there are branches. Most of them are in Ireland, North America, Canada, and the United States. Mm-hmm. There's probably lots in other parts of the world too. Yeah. But it's trying to preserve the traditional Irish music that there was a big revival about the 1950s, and they discovered musicians that still knew the old tunes and old songs, and so we play 2 sessions a month at the Somewhere Else pub, and we hold a Cayley dance, which is a social dance for people to celebrate St. Patrick's Day every year. And the next one is coming up March the 1st at St. Joseph's Hall on Broadway Avenue. And so it's just a way to have some fun and keep the old traditional music alive.
Do you take some of your kids to that, just to expose them to that Irish side of them?
Well, I often forget to invite them, but they do show up because they know that my wife and I are both there, busy setting up the tables and chairs and helping to run the event. And so it's fun to watch the grandchildren doing the set pieces, the dances, and following the instructions, and having fun, learning some of the Irish songs and dances and traditions. And so I would welcome all my grandchildren to come, but I don't actually make a point of inviting them. They come along.
Is it because you talk so much about your Irish values to them that they see how important this is for you, that they will just show up?
Maybe, yeah. They like the dancing part. They like the food part, and
who wouldn't want food?
So I'm happy that they're coming.
Right.
Participating.
How important is community to you?
Well, I would say it's become very important. The Toastmasters has become a major part of my community. Singing in the church choir every Sunday is an important part. The Irish Claddaugh branch is a large part. I used to be involved with Saskatoon Roadrunners. And then I guess that kind of faded out, and I did my own exercise on my own, more without tagging along with a group. But and I'm also involved with the professional association, the Advocates, the organization that supports professional financial planning. And so, like I said about Toastmasters, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. You reap what you sow, and I just feel like I will always keep going out to these events and participating and getting on the executives of an organization that I really believe in. And
Yeah.
so that's...
I want to know then, how do you balance all this? We all have 24 hours in a day. You do so much. How do you balance it all and still get your 8 hours sleep?
Well, I guess I'm not as active in professional organizations as I was 30 years ago.
Okay.
So it's much easier to balance now.
Yeah.
And and most of the family activities are on the weekends, I would say. But my wife and I put things on the calendar, and we share when I'm available, and I just don't feel like there's any conflict anymore. There was a time when I was growing up where I was on executives of.
And your kids were smaller.
And they were smaller, so I wasn't seeing them as much. And now I have more opportunity because I guess I'm in the later stages of my career and may retire in the next few years. And so I would say that it's relatively easy to balance nowadays. My wife retired in 2019, just before the pandemic, so she has time to see the children and grandchildren much more than I do. But I always like to set up a Zoom call on Saturday mornings for all the grandchildren and children to participate in. And so it's nice to see them.
And what do you guys talk about on the Zoom call? That's neat. I like that.
Well, they loved manipulating the images and putting hats and sunglasses on themselves when they're on the screen, and we just catch up on whose birthday's coming up, and who's going to come to Saskatoon for the next family gathering.
Wow!
Or
I
what?
Like that.
Or we have a summer vacation trip. We plan that ahead of time.
That, I think I'm going to try doing that. That's a nice way to check in with everybody.
It started during COVID, but
but we kept it going.
Yeah,
that's good. I really, really appreciate that.
We managed to find a time slot Saturday morning at 9 a.m. that suits just about everybody. Yeah.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was a fascinating conversation. You remind us that we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Your involvement with the Tlada branch CCE alongside your professional work is truly inspiring. Viewers can connect with Terry at Bridges Toastmasters Club, located at the Global Gathering Place on 25th Street. Meetings start at 6:30 p.m. That's a wrap for today. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on all our social media platforms to keep the conversation going. Thank you for joining us on Conversations. Grace and peace be multiplied unto you and yours. Shalom.